The key guys at quarterback today. He's had a tremendous season, over 1,400 yards total passing, and he likes to put the ball up to his split out, John Clifford, and we want to watch him today closely. And of course, defensively, St. John's very concerned about that Leominster running attack. As you said, Mike, they're mighty powerful, so a real key for St. John's today, whether they can slow that attack down and get the ball to Brian Hunt.
Brian Hunt has thrown for 18 touchdown passes, and an extra note, he's a kicker. He's kicked 5 field goals. He's 5 for 5, and the Central Mass Division III game was decided by a kick, so we could see that happen.
Another talented athlete we saw earlier in the game, Rich Lewis for Bay Path, was tremendous kicking the ball as well as running it. That's what Brian Hunt can do. 5 for 5, as you say, kicking field goals this year. And that could be a real factor in this game. With two teams like this, and we expect a close ball game, that field goal or kicking ability for extra points can make a big difference.
It's crisp, it's clear, it's cold, and it is windy. We'll be telling you about the wind direction and get ready for the opening kickoff when we come back in just a moment on Nesson. Nick Carboni up front, Doug Mobley, Mike Salafia, Andy Kelly, Steve Salavardos. And backing them up, Dana Valadin, Paul Savatelli, Caven, Wallace, Patrica, and Gagnon. 2nd and 3 it is for the Pioneers, and here's the wingback on the counter, Cizurko, for the first down. Likes to pass the ball as well as run it, about a 50-50 balance. Leominster's 9th appearance. They're defending Division I champions. This is a rematch. 88, St. John's, a 1-point victory, a tough defensive battle. Again, 2 men. Here's Doug Mobley, the defensive tackle, 235 pounds. He'll be counted on.
Turf's like, and it's a totally different feel from that natural grass.
Back for the punt, Brian Hunt. Kicks it into the wind, and a beauty it is. A fair catch called for and made by number 22, Mike Wallace, back near the 31-yard line of Leominster. Look at the offense for Leominster. Matthews and Wallace behind Wiranen, Matt Hughes in the slot, the split end, Dave Orsini and Don Chabin. Up front, Jim Herrick, Don Salafia, Pierre Marini, Kelly, and Candiello. The big kid, Chris Candiello. Steve King, you're going to be mentioning him quite often this afternoon.
He's a moose, 6'4", 240 pounds.
I'm sure his mother will agree with that one. Up front it goes. On the carry, number 3, Mark Matthews, the senior 185-pounder. Pounds it up the middle for a gain of 4. Here's a look at St. John's, which likes to play a lot of 6-1, which their coach told me, Tony Wood told me, is confusing because not many high school teams play that formation.
Well, we'll see how confusing it is to this Leominster attack because that's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to attack that 6-1 of St. John's.
St. John's, all seniors. They've lost just 3 games in 4 years. 8 of these players go both ways. The handoff and a beauty. Plenty of room to run that time for number 22, Mike Wallace. Takes it up near the 40-yard line. Vin Gonzalez, the junior, on the stop. Going to be close to a first down, and the referee will ask for a measurement here. Bill Loftus is the referee. Here's how Leominster arrived here in Worcester for this Super Bowl to defend their championship. Started out with a shutout of Weymouth. Also shut out Marlboro. Handled Shrewsbury pretty easily, 28-16. The only blemishes, Brockton 21 rather, and Wachusett a 1-point victory. Fitchburg they shut out Fitchburg to finally earn the spot. It's 1st and 10, 6:40 remaining in the first quarter. Cutting it outside, and with some room to run, knocked out of bounds. Mark Matthews, Ryan McCarthy there to pound him out of bounds. 1st and 10, a gain of 11 that time for Matthews.
Matthews did something then that a lot of high school athletes have trouble doing. Watch him switch the ball. He goes off that right side. That's Candiello's side. Watch him switch the ball to the right side away from the pursuing tacklers. That's a good natural move. A lot of high school athletes fail to do that. Nice job by Matthews handling the football.
The Blue Devils like to run the option. They run a veer offense. They're in a pro set now with 2 wide receivers. It goes inside to Wallace. Short gain of about 4 for Wallace that time. They'll bring up a 2nd and 6. There are Wallace's numbers. Impressive, Steve King. Close to 9 yards per carry.
We mentioned that in the opening, and that's the first thing that really jumped out and grabbed me when I looked at the stats of this team. You have two guys back there with tremendous averages, Wallace and Matthews.
We talked about the fact that the quarterback doesn't have to throw much on this team. When you're gaining 7 and 8 yards a clip, why throw the ball? Quarterback keeper close to a first down. We're running. And we may get another measurement here. He's just short, it appears, on that second down run. Mark Warren gets up shaking his right arm.
Well, you know, he's got a pretty healthy average running the ball, too, at about 7.5 yards per carry. And we get a chance to look at his running ability. He takes a shot there. I think he got his bell rung a little bit, Mike.
I would say so. I used to make a couple of those hits. Just a couple in a whole year. Third and one.
You're modest. You're modest. I heard all about you.
First down. Mike Wallace. This one's starting out just as we expected. Keeping it on the ground as Brian Hunt came up to make the tackle. Brian Hunt has a brother playing football, Steve King, down at Yale. He's a linebacker down there, Carter Hunt. So football runs in that family.
Yes, sir.
No doubt about it. It's a 1st and 10 at the 35, and Leominster has come right out and ground away at this St. John's defense. Here's the pitch out. Taken upside, breaking through, one man to beat, and he's gone. Mark Matthews has busted it open for Leominster from 35 yards away. A missed tackle, a good burst of speed, and Leominster's up 6-0.
Very simply, just a lead toss. Here it is with the off guard pulling. He picks up a couple of good blocks and does the rest on his own. Speed to the outside, keeps his feet there. And again, tight ropes into the end zone there at the end. That's a tremendous run by Matthews. Now we can see why he has such a tremendous average per carry, Mike.
Jim Clark in to try the extra point. Clark has kicked 35 of them this year for Leominster. On the hold is Wierinen. It's up, and it is good. Leominster has taken the opening kickoff straight down the field, 69 yards for a touchdown, and they have the lead over St. John's by a score of 7-0. Here's another look at this touchdown run by Mark Matthews.
You can see the off-guard pulls and leads along with the fullback, and he's got a lot of room when he makes his cut inside. There's a key block by that pulling guard. That was really the block that sprung Matthews. He had a seam. He took advantage of it, and now it's just an example of his great speed that gets him there.
Ken Healy had a shot at him. He couldn't get him. Mark Matthews is in. Brian Hunt also had a chance. He couldn't get him. Matthews has given Leominster a side for this Super Bowl for the Division I championship, beating Catholic Memorial and Holy Name, shutting out Doherty, beating St. Bernard's in the first 5 weeks of the season. And they wrapped it up. The only loss, Algonquin beat them 21-7. Tough game with BC High, a victory 15-6. So St. John's at 9-1, their 5th appearance in the Super Bowl. They won 3 and lost 1. There haven't been many points scored when St. John's gets to the Super Bowl, Steve. They've only scored 42 in those 4 games. They've only given up 30 in those 4 games. So expect low-scoring stuff when St. John's gets here. Back to pass. Brian Hunt has a receiver nearly picked off. It is picked off. Great defensive play by Don Clavin. Don Chabin, the big senior, 195-pounder, a dangerous sideline pattern.
What a nice job of staying in the receiver's hip pocket and breaking on the football. He had perfect position. He cuts in front right here. There you can see it, and the receiver has a hand in there, but Chabin just says, hey, I'm not letting go of this thing. That's a big play. Don Chabin, number 81.
And if John Clifford doesn't...
Here's another angle. Now watch position Chabin has. He steps right in front of the would-be receiver. And I tell you, good concentration. His head went down on the ball too, Mike, because he realized the receiver had a hand in there.
So the tight end and the 26. Here's Leominster, the Blue Devils, in control of the game so far. Inside it, fake the pitch. He's open. Good speed, one man to beat. Great run that time by Mark Matthews down inside the 10-yard line. John Clifford had to make the big stop. And right now, St. John's is back on their heels.
Speed right here. They freeze the end. There's the fake to Wallace into the line. The pitch now as the defender closes the quarterback. He bobbles the ball momentarily, but now he just a great block on the outside and his speed to the outside. Clifford, though, is able to bring him down.
Get him back! Get him back!
Here's Mark Matthews. A look at him. He's a senior, 18 years old. The ball rests. Trying to go up by 10-0. The snap, it's down. The kick is up, and it is good. Jim Clark has hit from 28 yards away, and Leominster has opened up a 10-0 lead. Tony Wood, the coach of St. John's, told us the kicking game could be a big factor as you look at Jim Clark, the junior, just 16 years old, 5'9", 150, but a ton of foot there. He had the wind with him, Steve King, and as we saw earlier in the Central Mass Division 3.
I worried about, Mike. It wasn't practice. It was the games I worried about.
Now, you said you played a lot of special teams. That you've got to be crazy to do that. Here we go on the counter. Lots of room to run. Number 23. Mike Wallace made the stop. The run by Stan Cizurko.
Misdirection here with the fake off-guard pulls. Gets a key block right there. Look at that block. Allows Cizurko to cut up inside. There you can see shoestring tackle at the end of that play.
28 seconds left in the quarter. Here they come again. Breaking loose. Brian Hoole cuts it back up. Finally brought down at about the 33.
Watch number 33, the defender for Leominster. He's going to get kicked out. Another block by number 73. That's Pat McElvey. And then it's just a case of Brian Hoole's off and running.
Brian Hoole, the tailback. Back to pass Hunt, and he is sacked. Number 81, Don Chabin, came from the left side, and Brian Hunt did not have a chance.
Backside, Don Chabin does not get blocked, and he's going to blow across that pocket and get right into Brian Hunt's face. Hunt feels him coming, tries to duck him, but it's too late. Chabin with the big sack.
That's surprising.
Oh, that's really nice. You know, you don't get beat up on the way to making a great.
Brian Hunt, he's 5 of 5 on the year, booms it, and it is good. He nailed it. 44 yards, the longest field goal of Brian Hunt's career. Previously, it was a 37-yarder, but with the wind, they took a shot at it, and he nailed it. 40.
Here's a bird's eye view here.
High
snap
snap
a little to the right. Hoole doing a nice job putting it in place for Brian Hunt, and man, he got all of his body into that one. You can see plenty to spare on that right side too, and over the crossbar.
And Leominster has come back, capitalized on the drive for 3 points. The kick by Hunt, deep, taken about the 4-yard line by Hughes. Breaks the tackle, big hit at the 26-yard line. He is knocked down, and knocked down heavy after a 24-yard return by Terrence Lynch.
Not a good position to get yourself into. He leaves his feet, leaps up in the ground. Now watch him plant the left foot and cut back inside right here. Now watch him try to get up in the air to avoid this tackle. Oh, leaving yourself to be real vulnerable, and he takes a second hit on the way down right there.
Great technique that time by 7:32 left. Back to pass Brian Hunt. Has a receiver and a catch. Let's see, the Leominster people say no, but the officials say yes. Leominster's coaches are livid over there. They might have had a better angle at it than the official there.
Yeah, you know, John Dubzinski was almost right, exactly on the 50-yard line, which is where the ball ends up. He's not too happy about that one. But John Clifford gets down there, and the official was upfield a little bit. Let's take a look there. Oh, yeah, it looks like a catch unless he dropped it. But the Leominster defender there is in our way. He may have lost the handle on it at the end, but as far as we could see, it
here's how it looked at the end of the season. St. John's with the best rating, followed by Leominster and Westboro and Fitchburg to the very end. Brian Hunt under pressure and knocked down at the 43-yard line. Wallace and number 1, Mike Monterio. This one's back to Wallace. He lets it land. It's going to bounce, and it's going to stop at the 4-yard line. Big break that time for St. John's. Maybe a little bit of a miscommunication there. Well, 53-yard kick.
I got to give Wallace credit here. I think he made the right decision letting this ball go. This ball is going to hit inside the 10-yard line. We're talking about the, yeah, look, it hits, in fact, yeah, right about the 10-yard line, just inside the 10. And it doesn't get the roll that Mike Wallace thought it would get. The ball just dies about the 2-yard line.
Gets it away just barely, and it's going to be a short kick. Bounces at the 30, backwards to the 25. By the time Leominster knocks it down, for some reason, the St. John's players are trying to recover it.
Well, it looked like it bounced off the official's leg from our angle, but perhaps one of the St. John's players touched it, Mike, and that's why they were chasing it. Let's listen.
We heard the officials say numerous illegal touches, and they're going to find a spot for it. Let's see where it ends up. Nesson's audio man Kevin on top of it. Look at him, right in the middle of it.
Watch this ball. Let's see if it hits the official. Yeah, off of his right ankle. Now the Leominster people are trying to get a handle on it. They're trying to stop it. Now, for some reason, the St. John's player is going for it. Why, I don't know. He must have had his head down and thought the official was...
They've started on the 13-yard line. That punt might have been for negative yardage when all was said and done. So again, punting has become a factor in this game.
Well, the wind is a tremendous factor today.
And 2 yards to go. And Tony Wood is going to call a timeout to discuss in the first half. Leominster has a 10-3 lead as you see St. John's huddled.
Don't laugh, but maybe play action. Maybe a play action pass.
Here it is. They go inside the hole. He is stopped. That is going to be short of a first down. The hole was open momentarily, but Houle couldn't get there in time.
I'm not too sure. It looked like Houle was struggling. He may have gotten closer than we think. Let's wait and see here. Here's a handoff, and it's just no hole at all. It's really plugged up in the middle. Let's see if we can see who made that initial hit. That was a great hit. He stood Houle right up in the hole.
Jay Gagnon, the junior, the cornerback, came up hard.
They're going right off left guard. Looks like number 75 for Leominster that closed.
Mike Salafia there, the right tackle, or the nose tackle in the pile, was the first man to make. You couldn't ask for a better day to play football.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. A little windy, though, very windy. But right now in St. John's advantage, particularly with Leominster having to punt, I would think, with a 4th and short coming up.
4th and 1. They will kick it away to try to do something with one play. They'll have to just receive the punt and see what they can do with that.
It'll be interesting if he makes a fair catch, Mike. Think about this. Brian Hunt, with his kicking ability, can make a long one with that wind at his back.
Let's see if Tony Wood has instructed his man, Stan Cizurko, there to make a fair catch. Good point, Steve. 6 seconds left. Here's the kick. It is blocked partially. Cizurko lets it go, and time runs out. Well, St. John's went for the block, could not get it completely blocked. It was deflected by Paul Huey. Ball ended up at the 41-yard line, and St. John's just runs out of time. They will not have another chance at the Leominster Blue Devils. And we have come to halftime here in Worcester with the score of the Leominster Blue Devils 10 and the St. John's Pioneers 3. We'll be back with halftime activities after this on Nesson. King here in Worcester, Massachusetts for the Division I Central Mass Super Bowl championships on Nesson. Leominster's Blue Devils hoping to defend their championship and have a 10-3 lead over St. John's Pioneers after the first 2 quarters. Club coming in 8-2, looking for a 2nd consecutive championship, 7th in the history of the school, as Leominster has been one of the dominant teams in Super Bowl competition since it began back in the early 70s. Here's the kick from Hunt, high and deep, taken at the 5-yard line by Wallace. Comes left, hit hard at the 23-yard line by number 66. Let's go! After an 8 named Bubba hands it off, big hole, wide open, and nearly taking it all the way, Mark Matthews. John Clifford got a hand on him and was able to knock Matthews down just barely, and he is slapping his helmet saying, I had it all the way.
Well, they're going behind their bread and butter. Candiello, the right tackle, the fake inside of the fullback. He hands off to Matthews behind Candiello, and you can see the hole that the big right tackle creates for Mark Matthews.
Andy Kelly also had a nice block, the right guard, to help Matthews spring loose. He's a linebacker defensively and a half. They go inside, however. There's room, and there he goes, breaking it out. Finally brought down at the 35-yard line by Mike Wallace. A 19-yard carry that time for Chris McNamara, the junior.
This is a trap play. You can see number 57 gets his block, and that's what springs McNamara. What's this nifty little move right there? He makes the tackler miss, and nice job of running by Chris McNamara, but a tremendous trap block on the line. He got the key block there.
Back to pass. Hunt has a man wide open, can't find him. And Hunt is distraught. He had Stan Cizurko open by 10 yards. Could not connect, and he had time to throw it, too.
That's a touch pass. I don't know what he saw, but that's a heartbreaker right there. That's a touchdown. Good blocking. Excellent pocket right there. Has no one in his face. All he has to do is just lift the ball up to a wide open Cizurko.
Beautifully
and he
conceived.
overthrows the football.
Beautifully conceived pass pattern that time. One of the outside receivers took 3 defenders inside, and that's territory. They pitch it back to Hool, and a great play by the defensive end.
That's Carboni, number 89.
Nick Carboni, 6'1", 190 pounds. The junior makes a big stop and a loss of 3. Lineup on defense, still out of the eye. St. John's back to passes. Hunt, pressure on him, in trouble, eludes one man, still on his feet and now down. Big loss, 15-yard loss that time for Brian Hunt. Steve Salavardos off the right end, combining, they pinched him together and they nailed him for the sack.
But let's give Doug Mobley a lot of credit. He's the first one to get a hand on Hunt. Watch the left side of your screen as number 33 comes in, but it's 62 Mobley that gets his hand on Hunt and holds him up long enough for his teammate to come in and make the sack.
Now that's setting up your teammate, right? The guy who finishes that off is saying, thank you, thank you,
sir.
thank you.
Mr. Steve Salavardos better think. Steve Salavardos better think. Better thank Mobley for that one on the sideline.
Brian Hunt's kick moving right. It looked like Matthews lost it in the sun, and he is nailed inside the 15-yard line. Mike Wallace, rather, had some trouble with that ball as it went right through the sun. He was not going to field it. He finally did. And the tackle made by number 20, Chris McNamara. Let's see if they put it up in the air here. Leominster leading at 10-3. They'll have face a 3rd and 4 situation here. Dave Orsini, the split end, split right, everybody else in tight. The handoff inside to the second man, busting it up close to a first down, but looks to be about a yard short.
And he was hit in the backfield, and just great second effort.
Excellent balance that time. It's close enough for a measurement. And that's what the officials will ask for on that 3rd down and 4 play. Mark Matthews took it inside. within inches of a first down. They set it down there, and they have it. A first down. And Steve King, I think he did it with second effort.
Absolutely. He got hit in the backfield and was able to keep his balance and struggled up there and had enough blocking beyond that initial hit to get that first down. And that's a huge play for them. This could get them out of the hole. And it's going to take some more time off that clock in the third quarter.
We're still in the third quarter with 4 minutes remaining. The ball at the 24-yard line for Leominster and the 10-3 lead. Here on Nesson, the fake and the pass caught, busting a tackle. Number 81, he's loose. He may go all the way.
Don Chabin
Finally brought down at the 4-yard line by Stan Cizurko. 71 yards. Don Chabin, the senior, and the ball fake is what did it.
Now watch this fake. They freeze the inside linebackers. There's the throw. Baronin right on the mark, and Chabin breaks the tackle running across the field now, turns it on. He's going to need oxygen at the end of this play, but I tell you, he can smell that goal line, but he runs out of gas just a little bit right there and gets hauled down from behind by Brian Houle, number 25.
Ryan McCarthy was on the coverage. He had the play covered well, but could not wrap up Chabin, and it turns into a 71-yard gain, setting Leominster up on the 5-yard line with first and goal, 3:10 remaining, third quarter. Here's Warren, takes the snap, hands it off inside, penalty flag down, breaking a tackle, and into the end zone for a touchdown, Mike Wallace. Let's see what the penalty is. And it's going to go against Leominster, nullifying the touchdown.
Well, this is coming back, Mike, but what a beautiful job of running by number 22, Mike Wallace.
He letters in track, too, and he has tremendous balance.
Again, they are running over that right side. They're trying to utilize Candiello and number 81, Chabin, and the blocking's pretty decent, but they close the hole quickly. Look at this. Look at him keep his feet. He gets hit once hard, twice hard. Again, refuses to go down into the end zone.
Tremendous desire by Mike Wallace and great balance. 3 men had a shot at him at the line of scrimmage, couldn't wrap him up.
It was amazing. It was almost...
Here's Warren, takes the snap, hands it off inside, penalty flag down, breaking a tackle, and into the end zone for a touchdown, Mike Wallace. Let's see what the penalty is. And it's going to go against Leominster, nullifying the touchdown.
Well, this is coming back, Mike, but what a beautiful job of running by number 22, Mike Wallace.
He letters in track, too, and he has tremendous balance.
Again, they are running over that right side. They're trying to utilize Candiello and number 81, Chabin, and the blocking's pretty decent, but they close the hole quickly. Look at this. Look at him keep his feet. He gets hit once hard, twice hard. Again, refuses to go down into the end zone.
Tremendous desire by Mike Wallace and great balance. 3 men had a shot at him at the line of scrimmage, couldn't wrap him up.
It was amazing. It was almost like he bounced off of him like he was a rubber ball, but he kept his feet.
But it's called back, and it'll be first and 10 from the 10-yard line. We've got 2:48 remaining to be played here in the third quarter. A key situation for Leominster. Tony Wood having a few words for his boys. Certainly the defense tackling in the past couple of plays has helped Leominster get the ball down inside the 10-yard line.
Well, anytime they play that well.
Here's the wide sweep by Matthews, and he cuts it up and in, but steps out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Matthews took it 9 yards, couldn't get the final yard, but great speed there.
Well, this looks like student body right.
Alumni Field in Worcester, Mike Crispino and Steve King. Leominster in white, driving, knocking on the door of St. John Shrewsbury. And Leominster's Blue Devils have a... Here we go, it's 2nd and 1. We're in the third quarter with 2:41 remaining to be played. Mark Wirinen is the quarterback, over the center, in motion. And on the carry, inside. No call yet. The tackle made by John Clifford. It looks like they've stopped him here. Territory.
The key to this play is the faking. The quarterback freezes the inside linebackers and hits Chabon. The other part of it is Chabon doesn't go down. He breaks the tackle. Then he's off and running across the field. And we're going to see him get very close to a touchdown. But he starts to run out of gas right here. And he's finally caught from behind.
Brian McCarthy had a shot at him. Chabon broke the tackle early and went 71 yards to set him up inside the 10-yard line. Here's how it happened. Leominster with a 10-3 lead. Mark Matthews in the first quarter with a beautiful 35-yard run. The kick added, made it 7-0. Then we had 2 field goals. Jim Clark, the junior, banged one from 28 yards, and Brian Hunt, the quarterback of St. John's, kicked a record breaker, 44 yards. He boomed one home, the only point so far for St. John's. St. John's did penetrate deep in Leominster territory, but was stopped on a 4th and 2 late in the second quarter, and that's where we stand. 3rd and goal, ball on the 1. Mark Wierinen, the quarterback for Leominster. Quarterback sneak, not much, but it's good enough. Touchdown. The Blue Devils are in, and they lead it 16-3. Certainly the Leominster crowd is happy about this as the defending champions have opened up a 16-3 lead. He takes it straight over the center.
Yes, sir, over that center, Tony Piermarini. And he gets just far enough to break that goal line plane and really put Leominster, I would think, Mike, in a commanding situation.
Well, Tony Piermarini is a fledgling architect, and he certainly drew the plans up for that one. He said, take it right over me and we'll score some. So they've got a 16-3 lead. Leominster for the extra point, and it is up and good. The kick by Jim Clark has given Leominster kick along with John Clifford. And it seems to me that the St. John's Shrewsbury receivers have been open frequently. If Brian Hunt gets hot, we got a ball game. Picked up by John Clifford, 20, 30, past the 35. He breaks one, breaks a couple of them, past the 50. And a great run back by John Clifford. Brian Winderbach made the tackle on a 36-yard return from John Clifford, and that's something that could get St. John's of Shrewsbury fired up.
Let's take a look here. This is just a case of Clifford using his blocks well. Runs right up the middle, picks up a couple of good blocks on the left side. Now there's traffic. He just keeps his head down, keeps running, and finally there's some contact there, but that's excellent blocking by the Wed.
Thrown for 1,462 yards. This time the ball knocked loose. He picks it up again. He's on the run, in trouble, and down. Jay Gagnon finished him off. Andy Kelly chased him down, and Hunt under some pressure.
Well, Hunt went to cock the football to throw it, and someone swatted his arm, and it hit the turf, and he picks it up quickly. Let's watch here. He avoids one would-be tackler. Ball goes down. He has the presence to pick it up. Now he's going to try to get upfield, and the good pursuit by Leominster. Nice tackle by Jay Gagnon, number 11, comes up and stops Brian Hunt cold.
John Shrewsbury is driving but trailing 17-3. Leominster leads St. John's, and we'll be back with the 4th quarter in just a moment on Nesson. What is that ears pinned back?
Yeah, that's an old coach.
There you go. Draw play, fumble, and it is recovered inbounds by Leominster, it looks like, and there it is. A big turnover. Leominster's Brian Houle dropped it. It was recovered by Joel Petricka.
Well, it starts out to look like a pretty good play. It's a draw. You can see the handoff to Houle. There's a big hole on the left side, but it gets closed real quickly. Gets hit from behind by Steve Salavardos, who forces that fumble. So give number 33, Steve Salavardos, credit for creating that fumble.
Brian Houle shut down with just one field goal. Weirinen's kick, they're going to try to block it. He holds it up for an extra moment and boots it over Sazurko's head, heading to the end zone and into the end zone to touch it back. Kind of a stutter step by Mark Weirinen that time.
Yeah, you know, I think the rushers hesitated for a second, Mike. Watch this now. Here they come. Yeah, you know something, that was just a great adjustment. That was just a great adjustment by Mark Weirinen.
John Clifford nearly blocked that punt the second time. He went by him once and came back.
Weirinen felt the pressure to his right side, stepped to his left, and then punted the football.
St. John again looking for somebody. Has Clifford. No, intercepted by number 22. It looks like Mike Wallace. He had Clifford, but Wallace made the catch, and Leominster has turned it over and taken it back away from St. John's.
Let's watch here. Let's see if this ball is tipped. It seemed to sail on Brian Hunt. It may have been tipped right there. We saw a defensive lineman had his hands up, but at any rate, Mike Wallace, number 22, makes the biggest interception of his life.
Absolutely. And that stops a long drive. There's Mike Wallace, the senior. Stops a long drive by St. John's, and they've had a couple of them stopped inside the 20-yard line, and which could turn out to be the key to a victory today for Leominster. When you get down in that red zone, you've got to put some points on the board, and so far, Hunt time to throw it. He's back again, looking for somebody. Has Clifford. No, intercepted by number 22. It looks like Mike Wallace. He had Clifford, but Wallace made the catch, and Leominster has turned it over and taken it back away from St. John's.
Let's watch here. Let's see if this ball is tipped. It seemed to sail on Brian Hunt. It may have been tipped right there. We saw a defensive lineman had his hands up, but at any rate, Mike Wallace, number 22, makes the biggest interception of his life.
Absolutely. And that stops a long drive. There's Mike Wallace, the senior. Stops a long drive by St. John's, and they've had a couple of them stopped inside the 20-yard line, and which could turn out to be the key to a victory today for Leominster. When you get down in that red zone, you've got to
out of the hole and eat that clock up.
Nothing more frustrating than be standing on the sidelines as an offensive player, hoping to get your hands on the ball one more time and watch the other team just control it. Big run here. He's loose. He could go all the way. Mike Wallace, he is gone. Touchdown, Leominster, 77 yards. And that should put the cap on it. Another Super Bowl title for the defending champions.
Well, St. John's gets caught with 9 men up on the line. They're coming. And the fake to the fullback, and there's a handoff to Wallace. And what a look, he's wrapped up right there. Just won't go down, refuses to go down. Mike Wallace just shows great determination, great balance, and there's a foot race once he breaks by those linebackers, and no one's going to catch him. Brian Hoole's giving an effort, but there's no way he's going to catch Mike Wallace.
Mike Wallace and his running mate Mark Matthews, both over 100 yards on the day. Wallace, his 21st carry, 137 yards now. Matthews 9 for 102 yards. So combined 239 yards for Matthews and Wallace. The extra point attempt from Jim Clark. It's down, it's booted, it's wobbly, but it goes through. That was a knuckleball effort.
It wasn't pretty, but it worked.
77-yard touchdown by Mike Wallace, and Leominster has opened up a 24-3 lead with just 3:07 left here for the Central Mass Division I championship.
He really looked the defender off well.
2nd and 10. Hunt rolls, man open, deflected, incomplete, and a penalty here. Don Chabon decked Brian Hunt, and the referee was all over that one, so he'll get called for a personal foul of some kind here. We're under 2 minutes remaining. Personal foul there on Don Chabon of Leominster on a late hit. That'll move the ball down inside the 15-yard line. to about the 11.
Let's get another look here, and look on the right side of your screen. He throws the ball. Now let's watch Chabon. Oh, close play, but the official's going to flag him on it.
It's got to be, got to have Brian Hunt seeing a few stars in the end zone. Maybe too late. 24-3. Hunt drops the snap, picked up, turned over, and Leominster has the ball. Andy Kelly on top of it. Once again, St. John self-destructs. Their 4th turnover of the day.
Tough to say exactly what happened. I don't think he pulled out too quickly. I think he just dropped the football. And Andy Kelly, opportunistic, drops on the 4th turnover of the game. Let's take a look. There it is. Look, actually looked like the ball was off center of his hands a little bit. And as he was pulling away, he couldn't get the handle on it. Frustrating for St. John's.
Back in action and on the run. Leaping over a tackler. 10, 29-yard line. Handed off to Wallace outside. And knocked down after a gain of about 6 by Stan Cizurko. If you've been hearing these names pretty frequently, it's because they're in on a lot of plays. Cizurko, Brian, the ball. 3rd and 2, less than a minute left. Inside it goes, and a first down. And that should wrap it up, as time will run out in this thing. Leominster begins to celebrate, maybe a little prematurely. The team hit the field with 20 seconds and running here. But you can't blame them. The emotions are very high for a game like this. You play all season, you play your 10 games. John Dubzinski about to lead his team onto the field and join together in celebrating their Central Massachusetts Division I state championship. As Leominster, the Blue Devils of Leominster, have knocked off St. John's Pioneers for the championship.
St. John's Cheese Parade. 2 years I've been waiting for this. That's not bad. Hey. 2 years I've been. All right, yeah! Number 1, yeah!
Culmination of a season's worth of effort for Leominster's Blue Devils. But they have done it, defended their Super Bowl championship, beating St. John's Pioneers 24-3. We'll be back to wrap it up in just a moment here on Nesson. King back here at Worcester, where the Central Mass Division I Super Bowl championship has been decided decisively. Leominster's Blue Devils 24-3 over the Pioneers of St. John's. But Steve, it could have been different if St. John's held on to the ball at certain junctures of this ball game.
Yeah, the score a little deceiving. To me, the story for St. John was their turnovers that really hurt them. 4 turnovers in the game. Of course, a couple deep in Leominster territory, down around the 10-yard line of Leominster. So this really hurt. Leominster, on the other hand, executed very well, didn't give up the football. Mike Wallace, number 22 for Leominster, I think probably the most valuable player in the game. He came up with that last big turnover, and then shortly after that, they had a long touchdown run that really put the game out of reach.
Well, there's no question that coming into this game, St. John's said they had to stop the running backs of Leominster. They really were unable to do that. Mike Wallace and Mark Matthews ran wild, both of them over 100 yards, and both had touchdowns. So St. John's just unable to do what they wanted to do coming into this game.
And it was frustrating. Even though they gave up a lot of yardage, and a lot of people this season have given up yardage to Leominster because of that strong running game, they were unable to capitalize on the nice drives they had. They'd get the ball going, and as I said earlier, The turnovers that hurt most, I think, were the 2 turnovers down around the 10-yard line of Leominster. If they could have scored at least on one of those plays, the game could have been close down at the end.
And St. John's also had a 4th and 2 in that second quarter. They couldn't push it over and get the first down and continue with the scoring drive. So St. John's, a case of missed opportunities in this ball game, and they will go home and regroup, I'm sure, and come back and next year get a shot at it again. Leominster's Blue Devils, the final score over the St. John's Pioneers for the Central Mass Division I Championship. The final, Leominster 24 and St. John's 3. This has been an exclusive presentation of Nesson, your ticket to New England sports.
Too much to handle by St. John's. Here's the highlights.
Mark Matthews will put Leominster on the scoreboard first. This 35-yard run down the right sideline, giving Leominster a 6-0 lead early in the first quarter. The point after was good, 7-0 Leominster. Just moments later, Don Chabin will pick off a pass, which will go on to set up another Leominster score.
He cuts in front right here. There you can see it. And
great interception by Chabin. That would lead to a 28-yard field goal and a 10-0 Leominster lead. It'll be Jim Clark from 28 yards out, right through the middle, and Leominster has its 10-0 lead in the first quarter. Now in the second quarter, St. John's will not only get on the scoreboard, it'll also put itself in the record book. Brian Hunt gets all of this 44-yard field goal, eclipsing the old mark of 38 yards set by Bill Hollis at Plymouth Carver back in 1975. That one, fortunately for St. John's, would be their high water mark on the day. In the third quarter, Leominster would boost its lead to 17-3. The score set up on this Mark Wirinen to Don Chabin pass of 71 yards. Inside the 5, which would set up a 1-yard plunge for quarterback Mark Wirinen as he just gets in behind that front line offensive wall. And the quarterback sneak produces a 17-3 Leominster lead. Then in the fourth quarter, Mike Wallace will break free for this 77-yard touchdown run. Look at Wallace go, 77 yards for the score. The extra point is good, and Leominster moves to a 24-3 lead. That's the way the final score will read. Leominster 24, St. John's of Shrewsbury 3.
Championship.
And for Leominster, some revenge as they lost to St. John's in 1988 in the Super Bowl game. 8-7 for Leominster, their 9th trip to the Super Bowl, their 6th win. And for St. John's, offense, the same old problem. Their 5th trip to the Super Bowl, they've scored a total of 45 points in those games, but they have won Football Weekly.
While teams in eastern Massachusetts were deciding their championships at Foxborough Stadium and Boston University, 6 schools from Central Mass were battling for divisional honors at Worcester Pauley Institute. Our Paul Healy was with them. He files this report.
The Central Mass Division I Super Bowl. St. John's making their 3rd appearance in the last 6 years with their passing offense led by Brian Hunt take on the Leominster Blue Devils. Leominster's making their 3rd consecutive Central Mass Division I Super Bowl appearance. Last year they defeated Westboro. In 1988, St. John's knocked off an unbeaten Leominster team by the score of 8-7. 9:14 left in the second quarter. So far, Leominster is controlled, and they're ahead 10-0. In the first quarter, Mark Matthews capped a 67-yard drive with a 35-yard touchdown run off of right tackle. Senior co-captain Don Chabin intercepted the ball at the 35 of St. John's, and Jim Clark capped off the short drive with a 32-yard field goal. St. John's drove to the Leominster 20, but penalties and sacks have set them back. 4th and 19 on a field goal attempt. It's good! It's good! Brian Hunt's Super Bowl record 44-yard field goal closed the gap to 10-3. Late in the first half, a 5-yard Wirinen punt into a fierce wind gave the Pioneers from Shrewsbury, Mass. The ball on the Leominster 13-yard line. But the Leominster defense held as they stopped Brian Hoole on 4th and inches. The Pioneers would never again come as close to pay dirt. St. John's senior quarterback Brian Hunt threw for 18 touchdowns and 1,500 yards during the Pioneers' 9-1 regular season campaign. But the Blue Devil pass rush contained Hunt today. With under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, Leominster's Mark Weirinen's 5-yard slant pass to Don Chabin, his only completion of the day, turned into a 70-yard pass and run. Weirinen capped the 86-yard drive with a 1-yard touchdown plunge. 17-3 Leominster. The Leominster ground game was overwhelming. Senior Mark Matthews gained 102 yards on only 9 carries. In the fourth quarter, after the second of 3 St. John's fumbles, Mike Wallace picked up 73 of his 143 rushing yards on a late touchdown gallop. For the second consecutive year, the Leominster Blue Devils are the Central Mass Division I champions by way of a 24-3 victory over the...
10 reasons why Leominster is better than Fitchburg.
Football. Weymouth North and South combined into one team, and they kicked off tonight against Leominster, always a tough team. And look at Leominster in white. This is Mark Matthews in the first quarter, taking a handoff and going 78 yards for the touchdown. This would be the only score of the game, and it was a dramatic one. Matthews is in, and Leominster wins it by a score.
Let's go, baby. Sit.
It is a cold winter-like evening in central Massachusetts, and we are ready for schoolboy football. It is Leominster and Brockton here on WEIM. Dave Clark and Mike Flynn.
I'll tell you what I want. I want everybody that's on that field today for Brockton to be headed in the same direction. Everyone wants to do the same thing. Everyone is going to give everything they've got. They're going to let themselves go, and they're going to play football like they've never seen up here before. What a beautiful sight it'll be.
They might have all sorts of high school great players over in the other locker room. They might have this, they might have that, but I'll tell you one thing right now. I wouldn't trade one guy in this locker room for anybody over in that locker room right now. Let's go play football. Let's go. Yes. Boys, let's go out and play like this.
Undefeated and defending Super Bowl champion Leominster High School Blue Devils.
After listening to that guy mouth it off, undefeated, #1, if you don't feel like killing him now, you never will.
All right, now the answer to the question, who won, right? Part 2 tomorrow night now.
Soap opera.
What is this?
Tune in tomorrow for the next exciting episode.
Who won the Leominster Brockton game? That's the pregame. The game is tomorrow night. Different look at
It was nice.
Hey, Mike.
One coach yells, another coach prays.
Different tactics. Still.
It's a high school football game, and we took you right up until game time. Tonight in part 2 of Sights and Sounds, photographers Dick Dunham and Rod Grace bring you the game between Brockton and Leominster.
Listen to me carefully. We've been doing this game since some of you were in diapers. We've never had a problem. We don't expect one this evening. We're here to play football, and that's what we're going to have.
You guys ruin the game every year up here. Every year you ruin the game.
What we got, Coach?
He wants to look. He wants to look.
6-yard line.
Strong left wide, 37 slant. Run the ball. Make up what you did now.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Come on.
Run all year. You want the quarterback? Do you have the quarterback unless I tell you to pitch that time? Take a deep breath and regain that composure. We still have a long way to go in the game here.
We're firing out, D. Come on now. We're getting the job done.
That name Brockton don't mean nothing to me. It's just another city. There's just another city. Just another city.
Anthony, when you go to that corner, don't do that. Go! They can't catch you. They can't catch you. Be there. Here it is. Goodbye.
No, it's not up. Go, plug it. Pitch. Fade him up. Yeah.
That's the ball game. That's the ball game. Ball game's over.
I said they can stop our offense.
I don't think so, man.
Okay, we all been out here working our butts off. Don't anyone do anything stupid. Okay? Don't do... Hey, he rolled into you. I don't want to hear it. He's standing up. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, everybody over and shake hands. Let's go. Let's go. Over and shake hands.
We got a good club, though, John. We have not, this is the first time we played ball all year. Really, we have not played well, but they were ready to play tonight. Yeah, good job. That's good, John. Thank you.
Just another night at the office. Brockton won that game, 42-21. We thought it was an interesting look. Yeah,
very nice.
It's terrific.
You want to know what means who's got the quarterback.
Yeah,
it's on the option when they pitch. One guy has the quarterback and one guy has the guy that he pitches to. And you're not supposed to mess it up.
Got it. I got it. Thank you for that.
Renewed this Friday night in Central Mass. Paul Healy was there. Now he's here with this week's Sullivan Tire Game of the Week.
We're here at Doyle Field in Leominster, Massachusetts for what has become the marquee event in regular season Bay State High School Football League action. The home team, the monsters of Division I in Central Massachusetts, the Leominster Blue Devils. The visiting team, the rulers of Division I Eastern Massachusetts High School Football, the proud Brockton Boxers. The Boxers come into the game with a record of 4-1, but they have not lost to a Massachusetts high school football team since October 28, 1988, when the Leominster Blue Devils pulled the trick on this very field by the score of 27-12. This is the Sullivan Tire game of the week. Right away, the curse of Leominster's Doyle Field haunted the Boxers. The punt is back. It's hit towards Adam Williams. Fields it at his own 20. Hands off to Anthony Comer on the right. There's a flag down. There'll be a clip called. Comer breaks down the sidelines, but it just doesn't matter. It'll all come back. An 80-yard touchdown return, all for naught. 2 plays later, Adam Williams gained 19 yards in the first play from scrimmage for the Boxers. On option right, Comer fumbles. The ball's on the ground. Recovered by Leominster. Number 33, Steve Salavardos with the recovery. Mike Wallace and Mark Matthews immediately gave evidence to their claim as the #1 backfield in Central Mass. Mike Wallace all the way down to the 6-yard line of the Boxers. First down, Blue Devils. Second goal from the 6 for the Blue Devils. Touchdown, Leominster. Number 3, Mark Brockton responded with a 56-yard touchdown drive, keyed by the rugged inside running of senior fullback Chris Campbell. The wishbone, they're running out of the tee. This time it's Campbell on the dive, keeps his feet moving, gain of 9. Running options out of the wishbone set, running straight dives out of the T formation. Brockton has moved from their own 43-yard line. They're back in the wishbone. First and goal from the 2. Campbell, touchdown. With the first of Campbell's 2 touchdowns on the night, it was all tied at 7. Number 75, Ricardo LaFontaine, and the Boxer defense denied the Devils a first down. A 9-yard Leominster punt on the last play of the quarter left Brockton a scant 29 yards from pay dirt. Adam Williams flew to the 4-yard line. Option left. The pitch to Adam Williams, cuts upfield. And senior star Anthony Comer took it home for the first of his 4 touchdowns on the night. 14-7 Brockton. Touchdown! The Leominster defense came on behind Doug Mobley and number 86, Anthony Cleaves. The sack left Brockton facing a 3rd down and 22. Boxer quarterback Mark Hartzell's only complete pass of the night to Lamar Lee bailed out the Boxers. First down, Boxers! An absolutely earth-shaking double-team block by Campbell and number 65, Jeff Codgel, sprung Comer for another first down. Pro set. Oh! Anthony Comer. With under a minute left in the half, Comer's 3-yard touchdown run sealed the 57-yard drive. 21-7 Brockton. Anthony Comer, a 3-yard run over left. Early in the 3rd quarter, we see how Anthony Comer picked up the nickname the Comet. Second down and 6 for Brockton at their own 34-yard line. This is their first possession of the second half, and in this possession, they've run out of the wishbone set, the I formation, and the T. This time, it's Anthony Comer up the middle on a dive. Breaks to the outside. He outruns Joel Patrica, outruns Wallace. Touchdown! 28-7 Brockton. It's here where many teams would have folded their tents, but not Leominster. A fumble recovery by Andy Kelly for Leominster. A break for the Blue Devils. First down, 10 yards to go for the 16-yard line of Brockton. Wearing an option. Pitches to Matthews. No, that's Wallace. Touchdown, Leominster. The Blue Devils are back in the ball game. The crowd was revved up, and so was the Leominster defense. Brockton out of the I formation. Momentum was turning until Adam Williams, a tailback in the I formation, 2nd 12 from their own 30. Williams finds a hole. Adam Williams down the left sideline, still at his feet. Chris Campbell's plunge topped off the 66-yard drive. 35-14 Brockton. The Devils responded with their own touchdown drive of 68 yards.
Chabin, touchdown!
The Boxers then proceeded to crush the curse of Doyle Field.
Anthony Comer, Chris Campbell, and Adam Williams have done a great job tonight running the ball for the Boxers. But the true most valuable players in this football game for Brockton has been everyone in the offensive line. Tight end Jay Bursey, left tackle James Bailey, right guard Jeff Codgel, center Brian Drukas, right tackle Ricardo LaFontant, and left guard Thomas Latimer. They've done the job all night long for the Brockton Boxers. Anthony Comer down the left sideline. Touchdown, Anthony Comer! A 25-yard touchdown run.
Revenge is sweet. Brockton 42, Leominster 21.
Coming up next, we discuss... Welcome back to New England High School Football Weekly. In Central Mass, we'll be looking for since the 1981 and 1982 seasons. Paul Healy files this report.
Any preview of high school football in central Massachusetts has to start here at Doyle. Wins and 2 losses in their last 2 regular seasons. They've been to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and they're the 1989 Central Mass Division I defending Super Bowl champions. But if they're ready to be taken, this might be the year. The Blue Devils only have 4 starters returning on offense and only 4 starters returning on defense. And somehow they're going to have to find a way to replace fierce linebackers John and Jason Carr, defensive end Frank Iacoboni, and quarterback Tony Spinelli. That's the bad news. The good news is that their running backs, Mike Wallace and Mark Matthews, are both returning for their senior year. They're tremendous running threats, and they'll be the key to the Leominster. We spoke with John Dubzinski about his chances in 1990.
We think with Mark Matthews and Michael Wallace, we have 2 outstanding running backs. Michael Wallace rushed for about 1,300 yards last year, and Mark Matthews was about 900 yards. So we look forward to those kids having big seasons for us. Anthony Spinelli was our quarterback for 2 years, and he did a great job. This year we have Mark Warren, and Mark has been a few years, and he's a senior this year, and he's going to do a great job for us. We've had a great tradition in Leominster, and anybody we play, we fully expect them to play their very best game against us.
And who does...
Fake.
Let's go offense! That's it, Mark! That's it, Mark! We're moving. Come on. That's it. Let's go offense! That's it, Mark! That's it, Mark! We're moving. Come on. That's it.
stop. Wallace.
Valentin's a good back, so let him.
Second and 9.
Come on, hurry up. Christ sake. You got it. You got the first one.
Way to go, Mark.
Seconds left to play.
Go, go, go. That's it, Michael. Keep going. That's it. That's it.
Right here, boys.
Outside.
Strike up the band and let's go play some high school football. Weymouth North and South combined into one team, and they kicked off tonight against Leominster, always a tough team. And look at Leominster in white. This is Mark Matthews in the first quarter, taking a handoff and going 78 yards for the touchdown. This would be the only score of the game, and it was a dramatic one. Matthews is in, and Leominster wins it by a score of 6-0. Better late than never.
High School Football Weekly. Our Sullivan Tire Spotlight Game of the Week for this week proved to be a knockout affair. Here's ring announcer Paul Healy with the information.
Let's get ready to rumble. 40 minutes of high school football action with true heavyweights of Massachusetts high school football. In the blue corner from Leominster, Massachusetts, wearing white and blue uniforms, the Leominster Blue Devils from the Midland Wachusett League of Central Mass. The Blue Devils are the Division I Super Bowl champions from Central Massachusetts. They come into today's game with a 2-year record of 20 wins and only 2 losses. In the maroon corner, wearing all maroon uniforms with gold trim, the Weymouth Wildcats. They're from the Old Colony League. They're coming off a sterling 9-1 season. You're watching Sports Channel, and this is the first Sullivan Tire game of the week. The defenses dominated the initial possessions of both Weymouth and Leominster. But that all changed on Leominster's second offensive possession. Second down, 8 yards to go for the Blue Devils from their own 22. Warren takes a snap. It's Matthews going right. He's got some room, cuts up the middle. There's Matthews' speed. Nobody's got to catch him. A 78-yard touchdown run. Mark Matthews.
Matthews, 80 yards.
Weymouth proved they could move the ball, driving from their own 37-yard line into Leominster territory. But the Wildcats' first fumble halted the drive. Weymouth is now faced with a 4th down, 7 yards to go from the Leominster 37-yard line. It's an option. It's a fumble. And the Blue Devil defense holds. The Weymouth defense then took over the line of scrimmage. Here, number 46, Alex Provost, puts the clamps on Matthews. Weymouth marched forward again with a Keith Strazzeri sweep and a J.J. Cella to Steve Gabriel pass. Gabriel on a quick out. Breaks some tackles. But the Leominster defense called a halt to the drive. Strazzeri takes a big hit for number 44, John Petricka. And they're back in the wishbone. And again, Cello rolling out, but he's got some pressure, stays in his feet. He's going to run for it. And he goes down. It'll be 4th down on the Leominster 42-yard line. Leominster took over and ground out another drive of their own. Behind the inside running of Wallace and Matthews, and with the help of 2 late-hit personal foul penalties, the Leominster Blue Devils have driven to the Weymouth 10-yard line. But then the Weymouth defense, with their backs against the wall, responded. They've thrown the Blue Devils for 2 big losses, and now Leominster's faced with a 4th down, 20 yards to go from the Weymouth 22. Wearing is passing, a lot of pressure, but he gets away. Looking in the end zone, he lost it up. Knocked away by number 10, Steve Gabriel. 34. Weymouth took the second half kickoff and for the 3rd time drove the ball. 3rd down, 15 yards to go at just about midfield for Weymouth. They roll right. He hits Gabriel. Oh, but he slips and is down 2 yards short of the 1st down at the Leominster 42-yard line. A key 4th down offsides penalty on Leominster kept the Weymouth drive alive. Weymouth has been moving the ball well, but Candiello and Chabin have come up big for the Leominster defense. Weymouth again is faced down with a 4th down. It's 5 yards to go. They're at the Leominster 30-yard line. They're in a 1-back set. Quick look in. 1st down, Weymouth. Gabriel again. Chella to Gabriel. Weymouth got a new life after Don Chabin's near interception, which led to what Leominster coach John Dubzinski termed the game's biggest play. Weymouth had controlled the ball for 7.5 minutes, but they were now faced with their 3rd 4th down of the drive at the Leominster 16-yard line. Again, Weymouth breaks the wishbone. They come out in a 1-back offense, 3 wide receivers to the right. Chella is bottled up. The Blue Devils drove into Weymouth territory behind a Mike Wallace 20-yard romp, but the drive and the 3rd quarter ended when Weirinen gets it off, drops straight back, heavy rush, runs up the middle. He'll be bottled up, and a huge hit. Weymouth mounted a 4th drive into Leominster territory. Another Gabriel Gaynor set up a crushing turn of events for the Wildcats. 1st down, Weymouth. 1st and 10, midfield. There's Gabriel again, off right, fumble! That's recovered by number 44, Joel Patrica for Leominster Blue Devils. And again, a Weymouth drive is thwarted. So for the next 5.5 minutes, the game turned into the Mike Wallace ball control show behind the blocking of Herrick, Don Salafia, Pierre Marini, Kelly, and Candiello. The drive finally stalled at the Wildcat 8-yard line. But for Weymouth, the goal line was 92 yards away with no timeouts and only 1:19 left in the clock. The Leominster defense, as they had all night, held on, and the Central Mass champs came away with a 6-0 unanimous decision behind a 1st-round knockdown in the form of Mark Matthews' 78-yard explosion, leading the Blue Devils to their 21st victory in their last 23 bouts.
There's Matthew's speed. Nobody's got to catch him. A 78-yard touchdown run.
Come on, Mark. Come on, Mark. Way to go, Matthew.
Ball's at the 45. 3rd and 9 for Leominster. Catch made at the 40.
Holding on that last play.
1st
and 12 for the Blue Devils at the 45.
Go, Stephen! Go, Stephen! Yes! All right!
Boy, Michael!
All right, Michael! All right!
Got a first down on that one, Mike.
The band silly, one of the Leominster cheerleaders. Two and 7 for Leominster.
Seven to 3, and we're playing good. Matthews is out.
At the 2-yard line, it's first and goal, Leominster. That's the extra point.
That should be good.
Go, Stephen, go!
Yeah, but you're not driving.
The pass is intercepted.
Number 80, Dave Orsini. At left tackle, number 55, Jim Herrick. At left guard, number 76, Don Salafia. The center, number 50, Tony Pambarini. The tight end, number 81, Don Shaven. Right tackle, number 74, Chris Pindiello. At right guard, number 61. Halfbacks, number 3, Mark Matthews. 22, Mike Wallace. The slot, number 21, Matt Hughes. And Kenny Thompson. Quarterback, number 4, Mark Willinen. And the rest of the 1990 defending Super Bowl champion Leominster High School Blue Devils. toss at midfield, followed by the playing of our national anthem. The officials for tonight's Scott Ryland doing the kicking for Marlborough. Mark Matthews and Matt Hughes along with Mike Wallace are back for the kick for the Blue Devils. Ron Leominster from the Marlborough 46-yard line. Leominster first and goal at the 10-yard line. Get around there. Touchdown. Jim Clark will attempt the extra point for the Blue Devils.
Well, it's called back for an illegal man downfield.
Flags on the play. Kicking also back for the
offsides and
Ontario for the Blue Devils.
I'll get all called back because of a clip.
I've done that too many times.
Jim Clark will attempt the Blue Devil extra point. And the kick is good for Bill. Mike Wallace at the 47-yard line.
Nice run, Mike.
Jim Clark will attempt the extra point. And the kick is good.
It was good. It must have been a penalty.
Foxborough at the 37-yard line. Leominster first. First and 10 from the Marlboro 36-yard line. Has out only 3 points so far this season for your Leominster High School Blue Devils. The defensive end, number 89, Nick Carboni. Defensive end, number 33, Steve Salvaderos. Defensive tackle, number 62, Doug Mobley. Defensive tackle, number 61, Andy Kelly. The nose guard, number 75, Mike Salafia. Linebackers, number 53, Paul Salvatelli. And at number 35, Dan Valentin. At quarterback for the Blue Devils, number 81, Don Shaban. Number 3, Mark Matthews. The safeties, number 44, Joel Patrica. And number 22, Mike Wallace. And the rest of the undefeated and defending Super Bowl champion Leominster High School Blue Devils. Leominster High School Sports Club has tonight's official program, including the rosters, on sale for only $1. The Blue Devil Sports Club. And yell once more, Leominster Devils! Carrying the ball located at the 12-yard line. Go! Mark Matthews. First and goal, Leominster from the Doherty 7-yard line. The extra point. And the kick is good to score 11. Will Roa doing kicking. will attempt the extra point. Illegal procedure against Doherty. Adam Aqual, the kicker. Ontario taking the kick. Senior Doug Mobley in attendance for the 1990 homecoming game. Also Phil and Linda Roca, parents of Melissa Roca, Leominster High School cheerleader. Turning 16 today. Happy birthday to her. She's in attendance this evening.
Because they didn't touch it.
Mike Wallace.
12 carries, 105 yards.
Kid's open. Donnie's open.
And the catch is there for the score. Leominster 40. You don't need anybody underneath.
a new kicker.
Harry Falk will attempt the extra point. And the kick is good. The score 50-50 raffle.
Number 15, James Clark, will do the kicking for Leominster. The point after is good. Score, Leominster 7, Shrewsbury nothing.
Go with it, Mike. Yes, Michael!
Number 22, Mike Wallace, James Clark, will do the kicking. 8. Back for a touchdown. First half.
20 yards on that play, Mike.
Wide open. Pass completed. extra point.
Another 5 on us.
And the kick is good. The score. Leominster 20 will attempt the extra point once again.
5-yard penalty on that.
Attempt the extra point. It's good.
Sorry, Mike.
Clark. Mike Wallace and team.
91 goals.
Clipping on that play.
Down and 4 from the low 45-yard line. Mike Wallace carrying the football. 6-yard line.
In Leominster, the Boxers got their revenge, handing Leominster their first loss of the year in spite of the Devils scoring first. Mark Matthews' 6-yard score, 7-0. But the Boxers from Wallace with a 16-yard dash, and Leominster trails by 14 now. It's 28-14. But the Boxers had all the answers on this night. Chris Campbell will lower his head for 6 more.
Down 28-7. Leominster dug in, tried to rally, protect their undefeated record. A nice run here by senior back Mike Wallace. Brought the Blue Devils to within 2 touchdowns.
And football weather has arrived. It's going to be mighty chilly out here tonight. Let's get right to it. Coach John Dybzinski of the Leominster Blue Devils. The Fitchburg rivalry is no longer what it once was. So this game has got to be, if there is a one-game season for Leominster, this is the biggie, isn't it?
Well, this is always the highlight of our season. When Leominster plays Brockton High School, it's always an exciting game for not only the kids on the team, but the whole community and the whole area looks forward to it. And we know they're a fine football team, but we're expecting a great effort from the Leominster kids tonight. So we're looking for Matthews, and we're looking for those kids to control the football on the ground and try to keep it out of Comer and Campbell's hands, and try to utilize the clock a little bit, and hopefully put some points on the board.
All right, Coach, thanks. Let's turn to Mike Wallace. Mike, you're one of the running backs and a co-captain. This is just about it, huh?
Yeah, this is it. Very exciting this week. Have the whole town behind us. The school's been decorated. I'm just happy to be down here. We're going to go out, play with pride, play like a team, probably come out winning.
All right, you can move the ball on these guys. You're confident of that?
Yes, no one stopped us yet. Our offensive line's been doing a great job.
All right, Don Chabin, step in here for a sec. Your older brother, a part of the Leominster football tradition. What does it mean to you to have a game this big here?
Well, it means a lot to me. It really means a lot. This is unbelievable. It's like everything. All the guys on the team, you know, we haven't really planned all season for this, but when this week comes up, when Monday came, you know, you just pick it up. The guys are saying, some of the guys in the locker room are, you know, they go, this game tonight is going to really determine, you know, what they're going to do for the rest of their lives. This is it. Do or die. We got it.
All right, Don. Don says they're giving away a little size, but he's pretty confident that with their quickness, they can more than make up for the difference. We'll talk to Brockton coming up at 6 o'clock. John?
Williams gained 19 yards in the first play for scrimmage for the Boxers. On option right, Comer fumbles. The ball's on the ground. Recovered by Leominster. Number 33, Steve Salavardos with the recovery. Mike Wallace and Mark Matthews immediately gave evidence to their claim as the #1 backfield in Central Mass. Mike Wallace all the way down to the 6-yard line of the Boxers. First down, Blue Devils. Second goal from the 6 for the Blue Devils. Touchdown, Leominster. Number 3, Mark Brockton Matthews responded with a 50 year where many teams would have folded their tents, but not Leominster. A fumble recovery by Andy Kelly for Leominster. A break for the Blue Devils. First down, 10 yards to go for the 16-yard line of Brockton. Wearing an option. Pitches to Matthews. No, that's Wallace. Touchdown, Leominster. The Blue 8 yards. Chabin, touchdown. On The Boxers then...
Second 13. Hold on to it. That's it.
Touchdown.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Go. Break it.
One more man. Come on. Break it. See ya. See ya.
This side, touchdown.
We lost a touchdown because the referee blew a whistle. Well, yeah, previous intercepted on the last play.
Number 2, halfback, Kenny Thompson. Number 3, senior halfback, co-captain, Mark Matthews. Number 4, senior quarterback, Mark Warrenen. Number 14, split end, senior Ryan Young. Number 81, tight end, senior co-captain Don Shaven. Number 22, co-captain halfback Mike Wallace. Number 23, senior and end Paul Bergeron. Number 25, halfback senior Mike Vitone. Number 41, halfback, senior Perry Falk. Number 50, center, senior Tony Pamarini. Number 61, guard, Andy Kelly. Number 62, a tackle and co-captain, senior Doug Mobley. Number 65, defensive end, Scott Mutt.
Mute.
Number 74, senior tackle, Chris Candiello. Number 75, senior tackle, Mike Salapia. Number 80, end, senior Dave Orsini. Those are the 16 seniors playing in their last home game here at Doyle Field. Congratulations. And the remainder of the 1990 defending Super Bowl for the student participants. And the purpose of this activity is to provide positive learning experiences and opportunities for personal growth of the participants. At the 4-yard line. Mark Matthews. And the kick is good. Goal at the Wachusett 4-yard line. Mike Wallace. James Clark will attempt the extra point. Is tipped and no good, Evan. Leominster 1st and 10.
so proud of you, kid.
Pick it off, Joe!
Its title games feature teams with plenty of bowl experience. In Division I, St. John's of Shrewsbury has been to the bowl 4 times, riding a 3-game winning streak in 1977, 1985, and 1988. That last win coming over Saturday's opponent, Leominster. Speaking of Leominster, the Blue Devils will be making their 9th title appearance, sporting a 6-2 record, including a 12-3 victory over Westboro last year. St. John's, relying on a potent passing attack, compiled a 9-1 record on the season, with that only loss coming in a shocker at the hands of Algonquin. Leominster finished the year at 8-2, stumbling to Wachusett 14-13 and getting blown out by Brockton in week number 7. Now, despite those 2 games, the Blue Devils are dangerous. Mark Matthews, as seen here in the season opener against Weymouth, can throw a score on the board at any time. When these 2 teams met in '88, St. John's pulled out a 1-point win, 8-7. Expect another close one on Saturday. That game will get underway at 12:30 at WPI. And St. John's will neutralize Leominster with their potent passing attack, 27-20 for the Division I crown. In East.
When Leominster's season ended a year ago, the mission was complete. The Blue Devils beat Westboro 12-3 to capture the Division I Central Mass Super Bowl title, its 6th bowl title in school history. For the Blue Devils to win number 7, they'll have to rely on the Gold Turf twins, Mike Wallace and Mark Matthews. Nary a box score is printed that doesn't contain one or both of their names. Wallace is the workhorse, gaining 1,320 yards and 20 touchdowns. Matthews is the ideal complement, racking up 905 yards. They'll be the key players if the Blue Devils are to repeat. But Tony Wood's Pioneers of St. John's have the horses to end the Devils' streak at 1. Wood calls the Brian Hunt Hunt to John Clifford combination, efficiency in operation. And with an offensive supporting cast that features Stan the Steamer Cizurko, we could see the scoreboard change in a hurry today. The Central Mass Division I Super Bowl, Leominster against St. John's, next on NESN. From Alumni Field, the New England Sports Network presents the MIAA Championship Television Series. In today's Central Mass Division I Super Bowl, the Leominster Blue Devils and the St. John's Pioneers. Hello again, everybody. Mike Crispino along with former Patriot Steve King. And we have a great matchup for you here in Division I. The Blue Devils coming in at 8-2. They're the defending champions. They've been here 9 times, so they know what it's all about. St. John's has had great success in this game, too. This is their 5th appearance, and they're at 3-1. You look at Leominster, and you've got to think of Chuck Knox and ground Chuck offense. They just pound it at you all afternoon long. They won't put it up unless they have to.
Well, there's not much reason for them to put the ball up in the air. With the type of ball carriers they have, Mark Matthews, Mike Wallace, an 8.8 yards average for Matthews, a 9.5 yard per carry average for Wallace. So you can see the strength they have in the backfield. And up front, a lot of meat, and it's led by Chris Candiello, the right tackle, at 6'4", 240. We'll look for him to open a lot of those holes today.
So it's not going to be a pleasant afternoon for the guys that have got to face Candiello all more afternoon.
No, and his reputation seems to be a nasty one from what we gather.
He's a nasty guy. You look at St. John, Shrewsbury, the Pioneers have a ton of seniors, all seniors in this ball club. 8 of them go both ways, so experience could be a factor for them.
Well, it's nice to have those seniors on the field in that leadership role. We talked about it before we got here today. And, you know, Brian Hunt is one